Hi, everyone. Give me a thumbs up if you can all see me, hear me okay. I'm doing this for the first time using our new StreamYard and YouTube channels, so it'll be good to know if this is working. Alrighty, we'll give everyone a few minutes to join in. Thank you for the thumbs up. I was wondering if it's just me here. Thanks, Pushpa. We'll just give it a couple minutes. In the meantime, maybe just let me know where everyone is signing in from. England. Hi, Kit. Hey, Michelle. I'm smiling because Kit is a teammate. She's the one who runs our webinars. Hi, Tammy from Seattle. Hey, Mila. Mila is actually going to EBC. Pushpa from North Carolina. Amazing. Hi, Jennifer, Montana. Michelle is in Mexico right now. Michelle is also a teammate. We are a pretty international and geographically dispersed team. Hi, Dennis. We have New York in the house. Who else do we have? Maybe just another 15, 30 seconds max before we get started. Who has Everest Base Camp or Annapurna trek on their bucket list? Hi, Sachin. Thanks for joining. All right, let's get started. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening, late in the evening, wherever everyone else is joining from. My name is Preeti Suri, and I'm the founder and CEO of Adventure Tripper. We run the Wanderlust Wednesday webinar series to share with you all about the amazing destinations that we offer trips for through Adventure Tripper, and we also use these webinar series to do a lot of educational sessions for free for our audience. Today's session is focused on trekking in Nepal. What are the different kinds of treks, which are the most popular ones? How do you prepare for them? And we are going to talk to the guiding company that we work with for Nepal. But we also have a special guest today is one of the trekkers who have actually done the trek booked through our platform and with the same guiding company that you're talking to today. So I'm very excited to present our guiding partners from Nepal, have them share with you, and one of our past clients share with you their experience of trekking in Nepal. We ended up recording the session with the guiding company because we've in the past sometimes faced internet issues, and it's super early in Nepal. So we'll play the recording, but we will have the guides join us live to take any questions. So bit of housekeeping, please feed your questions through the chat, and we will try and answer as many of those as we can towards the end of the after the video. We'll talk to Sukanya, who's a trekker who's done the trek, and then we'll talk to Deepak to have all your questions answered. So please feel free to feed your questions through as and when you see the video, or as and when we bring the guests to answer the questions live. With that, let's get started with the video, with the guides to get an overview.
Our adventure travel marketplace company based in Washington. So this webinar is with respect to Nepal, which is one of our most important destinations, and which I am yet to explore too. And we have Deepak and Abhishek, who are local tour guides at Nepal. And in Nepal, we offer the EBC trek, which is one of the highest sold trips that we have on our platform. And so now Mr. Deepak will introduce himself and Mr. Abhishek will introduce himself. And I have personally a series of questions that I will put forth to them. And post that, we'll take questions from you guys as well. Yeah, Mr. Deepak, can you please introduce yourself?
Namaste, I'm Deepak from Nepal, from Advanced Tripper. So I based in Nepal, and I've been involving in this industry since long time as a porter, as a guide, and now I'm a person who act as a tour operator in Nepal. So I do organize trip different part of Nepal, trekking tours, and at the moment we're focusing trek to Everest Base Camp. So Everest Base Camp is one of the famous trekking route in the world, not only in Nepal. So most people they're willing to reach there. So we have a different way to reach there. We have a different type of accommodation, different type of the stay there. Yeah.
You may introduce yourself right now.
Oh, hello, sir. My name is Abhishek. So I've been working with Mr. Deepak since the past 4, 5 years, and I'm a mountain guide as well. So I started my trekking line after I finished my high school. I started as a porter, then as a guide after that, and I've been guiding in the Everest region since like 3 years plus. It's been a connective way to the nature and being in the business like this trekking lines great privilege as well. So,
Okay, nice. So, Deepakji and Abhishek, I have a series of questions for you right now because I haven't visited Nepal or did the EBC trek. I have two series of questions for you. What is the best time to come to Nepal, and what are the weather conditions that we should be expecting during this best time to trek in Nepal?
Well, Nepal is for all season. I mean, we have 4 different season: spring, uh, autumn, winter,
Right.
and summer. So we can do trekking all in all season. But we consider March to May and September to December best time of the year for the trekking. So normally on those month you get clear sky, less rain, and the less dusty. So these are the major reason. And if you do trekking, if you plan to do trekking in Nepal in autumn season, so most of the festival falls in those months like October, November. So if you do trekking those months, this is right after the monsoon. So most of the days the sky is very clear, and no rain, and temperature is not that high, not that low. As well as they can you can involve with local culture and festival.
And so some of the famous treks that I know and what we offer on our platform is the EBC camp, and then we offer Annapurna trek and the Three Passes trek and the Kokyo Pass trek. So what are the best treks that you would recommend in Nepal apart from these that what we offer on the platform?
Well, Nepal has a different the trekking routes, and short, long, and a different variation of trekking route. uh, Everest Annapurna, and Langtang. Those are most popular trekking route in Nepal. It has a different starting point, different ending point. Different. The different days. The length of days is a different. In Everest also you can do in a week, and you can do like a 21 days, 25 days trekking. And in Annapurna you can do it in like a 4 to 5 days, as well like a 25 days as well. So it has a different starting point, different ending point, different length of days. These are the most famous trekking route in Nepal. Beside this, Manaslu is nowadays Manaslu is getting famous. Kanchenjunga, Makalu, those are like the other trekking routes in Nepal, and less touristy trekking routes in Nepal, like Manaslu, Kanchenjunga, Makalu, Upper Mustang, Dolpo. Those are very the hidden trekking.
Got it. So next question is with respect to how the preparedness of the trekker and what gear should he carry, and what gear can he rent it out there before he starts the trek.
Well, sleeping bag, down jacket, trekking poles, you can rent it here. And the duffel bag we provide. Most trekkers, they come with their bag like a suitcase or whatever, and they keep suitcase or like their bag in Kathmandu. We give them a duffel bag for the porters, so they keep their things on the duffel bag, and they give to porters once they landed in Lukla. Okay, so they make their own day bag. Day bag must be around like a 25-30 liters. So they keep like a their valuable things, waters, camera, money, and like the day uses things with the day bag. Okay, so rest of the things they have
Okay.
to like their personal things, personal gear, like a shirt, like a inner trouser, thermocoat, like a Gore-Tex, I don't know what you call a fleece jacket. Those things they have to
Right.
buy themselves, and like a gloves, like a hiking socks. Those things they have to buy themselves.
And so, Deepak, the next question, is with respect to the helicopter options, and where do I have to land and where do I have to take off from to be part of this trek.
Well, actually, nowadays they have like this type of facilities also. They like some people they trek to base camp and trek back to Gorakshep, and from Gorakshep they take the helicopter back to Lukla, or if they pay more, they can get back to Kathmandu also. Well, let's say we have like a five peoples in a group and they want to come back by helicopter. If they are five peoples, nowadays they only take off like a two peoples at a time from Gorakshep. If we go a bit higher than Gorakshep, about couple of 100 meters higher than Gorakshep towards to Kalapathar, they can take like a five like a three peoples at a one time. Okay, normally what they do, they take like the like two peoples or three peoples from Gorakshep to Feriche, and they again go back to take two more peoples, and from Feriche they take five peoples together to Namche, sorry, to Lukla.
Okay, got it. And but the airport where I have to land and take off from for the trip is the Kathmandu airport, right?
Well, actually, if they want to come back to Kathmandu, all the way to Kathmandu by helicopter, that's the airport, okay. But most people, taking a helicopter all the way to Kathmandu is costly. So that most people they're taking a helicopter to Lukla from, let's say, from Gorakshep to
Okay.
Lukla, and if they get there early, they take the flight same day back to Kathmandu. If not, then you spend one night in Lukla, and next day early morning take the regular flight back to Kathmandu.
Okay, got it. Got it. So the next question, Deepak ji, is one of the most asked questions for us also as to what are the safety measures that are in place, for the trekkers? It might be, uh, you know, uh, evacuating people if there is any, untoward incident. So, what are the different safety measures that you, as guides and operators, make sure are in place for the trekkers?
Well, the trekkers, they must have to have a very good insurance. So before buying insurance, before they get to Nepal, they should have to ask. They should have to use a good insurance company, and they should have to have a very good insurance. And they should know either it is good or not. Sometimes the insurance company, they saying everything is covered, but at the end of the day, once they need that type of service, they saying it is not included. You have to pay there and claim back later, this and that. That is the insurance things. Okay, so before getting Nepal, they should know which type of insurance I have got. Okay, and before
Okay.
buying insurance, they should read their term and condition, and they should read what is included, what is not included, what is the maximum elevation is covered. They should know about that. So once they are in Nepal, so let's say if someone's got issues about altitude sickness, if they have very good insurance, if the insurance cover, so they don't have to worry about it. So we will be coordinating with the insurance, and we'll take them to Kathmandu by helicopter, and depends on them how serious is the case. If they are serious, we have to take them to the hospital. So everything will be looking after us, but the the payment must be by the insurance, or must be by the person. Okay, if the insurance doesn't cover, they should have to pay. It should have to pay by the person. Okay, that's the things. Well, before getting like a those things, well, I already told you, you should have to be prepare yourself physically, mentally, and they should have to have a good exercise also. And once you are here, once you are in Nepal, some people, they make their mind to use Dimox. Dimox is the tablet for altitude, and so some people, they don't take the Dimox. Well, if you're going to use the Dimox, you should have to start taking a Dimox uh, 2 days before to reach to 3,500 meters. It means, look, the day when they start trekking, they should have to start using Dimox. If they start using Dimox from the beginning, it works properly. Okay. If they think to use Dimox once they have altitude problem, it doesn't work properly. Okay. If they want to do trek without Dimox, the garlic soup is the option, which is best option, even better than Dimox. So if you use Dimox, you must need to drink more than 3 liters of water a day. So if they go this way, I don't think so we have to evacuate. We have a very rare case in our the past experience. Normally people, we don't evacuate, because we always give them right their advice, and we always ask them to eat right food and garlic soup, enough waters, walk slowly. So our guidance is very effective. So far we don't have any major issues, and major the altitude issues with our guest.
Awesome. I think that was hopefully good information for everyone. I'd like to now invite Sukanya onto the screen so she can share her experience of doing. Sukanya did the Everest Base Camp trek with Deepak and his team. Before I get Sukanya to introduce herself and share her experience, I'll ask her a few questions. Just a quick reminder, if you all have any questions for Deepak. Deepak is here backstage. He will come on in a few minutes after Sukanya to answer your questions. I know Mila here and Tammy, thanks for joining, are actually going on the trek in October. We have multiple groups going in October and November. So if you folks are here, have questions, feel free to feed them through the chat. And with that, Sukanya, why don't you introduce yourself and share a little bit of your story with us?
Sure. So I'm Sukanya and I'm tuning in from California. I went with Adventure Tripper to EBC last year, September. And I want to start off saying my experience was beyond amazing. I was a solo hiker, so I was a little nervous. Didn't have any
Little?
close. A lot, yes. So I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't have any family or close friends that I know of who was coming with it. But I want to say Preeti reassured me, and the whole trip was amazing. Made new friends for life, including Deepak sir, who's tuned in here. And I want to say you guys will have a great experience. Having said that, I am a 56-year-old woman who decided to do this. I had a bucket list going, and since I was waiting for friends to come and nobody was at my pace, I just jumped into it and I said, I'm going to do it. And so that's why I was a solo hiker. And I'm also a survivor of cancer. So it's been, I want to say from 2008, I need to make a calculation in my brain. So 15 years now that I'm a survivor. And I started my adventure right before that I got diagnosed. Like I started running and then I got diagnosed. And ever since I've been a very active person. And I truly believe to this day that my exercise and my drive to be active is what made me survive. And here I am making use of this opportunity to talk to you. So if the moral of that story would be nothing should stop you. Like if you want to do it, now is the moment to do it because we don't know what is in hold tomorrow. And so do it. And I did it because this was a great experience and I've always wanted to go explore things out of my comfort zone. And it was just a fantastic experience. So that's a little about me. Yes.
Thank you so much, Sukanya. Truly inspiring story. So thanks for sharing that with us as well. And thank you for the kind words. So what made you pick Nepal and what made you pick the Everest Base Camp specifically? I mean, we understand it's like the bucket list for a lot of people, the base camp of the Mount Everest, the tallest mountain, but was there anything else, that went into that consideration?
Well, to start with, I wanted to do Kilimanjaro with Preeti, and then Preeti was so good. She called on me and she said, that was the time that Omicron happened. And, Preeti called and said, I am not going to send you there because you might get stuck there. So I'm going to hold on to you and we'll see if something else comes up. And then Mount Everest came up, and then Preeti said, "Hey, you want to go?" And that was my main reason that I jumped into.
Oh my God,
Everest
I didn't
Base
even
Camp.
remember. So I was going to host a webinar. My teammate Winnie, who did the video recording, was going to host a webinar. So I didn't even remember what had happened. So I just asked the question out of the script given to me.
So
now I remember. Yeah, Kilimanjaro, because Tanzania, around that time when you were supposed to climb, was because of COVID, was level 5 and travel insurance wouldn't cover Tanzania at that point. So we had canceled our trips to Tanzania because folks couldn't have gotten travel insurance to cover their trip to Tanzania during that time. So, all right. So that was the reason. Got it.
But I want to give it to you for calling it on and reassuring me that everything will be okay. And then Mount Everest was also in my bucket list, so I wanted to do that, and I jumped on it because it was right there in front of me, and it was meant to be. Yeah.
Amazing. And then how did you train for it, Sukanya? It's not an easy trek. How many miles? Kilometers was it, and a lot of
almost 19, almost 18,000 something. So
18,000.
So I was living in Florida at that time, and I was very nervous because I had no mountains near me to hike. And I started doing cardio and strength training. It helps your lungs and your heart. And for the elevation, for most part, it will help you breathing. So I did every exercise possible. I was running, I was strength training, I did Pilates, yoga, cross training, running, and of course I had an awesome gym. So I made use of every opportunity with that. And in the gym, I mostly did Stairmaster. Stairmaster really helps you because going to Namche Bazaar, those steps are going to, it's a surprise to steps. It's never-ending steps to go to Namche Bazaar. So Stairmaster really helps you. And just be positive about it, and eating right also helps you. So hike up your protein and do what is, be active. Take every opportunity to be active. So that's what I did.
All right, that's super, super helpful. What did the day to day during the trek look like? How many hours were you guys trekking for? What did the food and the accommodation? I haven't done the trek myself.
Sure.
So what do you want to paint a picture for our audience as to what a
Sure.
typical day looked like?
Sure. So the guides, Deepak sir and his whole team are amazing. So they help you with everything. So when I went, I did not get a sleeping bag, but sleeping bag with a liner, everything was provided to us.
Mhm.
And I also did a yoga track. So every morning we had a yoga teacher, because our group was like 12 people group. We had a main guide and we had an assistant guide, and we also had a yoga teacher hiking with us. So there were youngsters were 30 and 30-year-olds who were like sprinting. So we had a person walking with them, and we had the medium hikers. Like I fell into it most of the time, and we had one person between the yoga teacher, and they took turns. And then the slower pace, they had a person. So at no point we were left alone. And every single person in our group felt that we got the attention, like it was like a royalty attention for each of us. The coffee was handed to us and things like that, right? And everything you want, the guides will take care of you. They tell you first thing in the morning, this is the time that you need to have breakfast and you need to be ready. So everybody gets up. We share rooms. So we get up, we have an alarm going on, and we get up, we get our breakfast. Sometimes we did yoga before breakfast, sometimes we did after breakfast. The yoga teacher will tell us where we are doing it. Sometimes if it was raining outside, we did it in the tea houses that we stayed in. Sometimes we did it in a beautiful helipad surrounded by the Himalayas and the mountains. And once we did it in the first peak of Everest was right behind us, and we did our yoga right there in the morning, and it was just spectacular views that even me saying about it will not justify it. And I think we are going to show some
Yeah,
pictures.
do you
And
have pictures, Kit? Do you want to show some of the pictures from Sukanya's trip?
it was just amazing view. This is a group that we went. And it was just spectacular. So the guides tell you, about the day. And so after breakfast, the breakfast is provided. And then we start hiking. We're just carrying the yoga mats here, but most of the time the Sherpas carried our yoga mats. So it was very easy on us. And so we have breakfast, and then we do the yoga, and then we start hiking. And then they say that we are going to meet in a what do you call, for lunch somewhere. So want to take a break and show you, that is the first peak of Mount Everest right behind. It is on my left, a small peak. The clouds are hiding it a tad bit. So this is a helipad that we did the yoga on. So we meet for lunch, and then we keep moving forward. They usually try to get us to where we are going to spend the night by 3-4 p.m., because you don't want to be in the dark. You don't want to be hiking in the dark. So by snack time, we are in that place, and then they give us snack and a chai or whatever, a drink, and then we go to we go to bed. So that was our usual day. And lunch was awesome, was provided. And the water, the previous night we buy water to fill up to fill our bags for the next day. But we, in a day, we consumed like minimum 3 liters, maximum whatever you want to. And so we bought the water the previous night, filled up our bags. I bought usually 2 liters, and then while hiking for lunch, we all bought another liter, so our backpacks were not heavy. So that was our typical day. Um, and the dinner was also served, and then we also had acclimatization days. So that is a day very important because you go a few feet and then come back to the field to where you are going to spend the night. Those acclimatization day, they actually made it fun. So one day we went to a museum, for Sagarmatha Museum. One day we had a movie day, so we could go to a local tea shop, and we all could watch, buy drinks and watch movies. And one day we all went shopping. So they make it very interesting and fun, and we were bonding, and people were helping each other. Like one day it was too dark, I couldn't get out, and I was not feeling that great with the elevation, and people help you, so they go and buy stuff. And we also stayed in a place, I forget the name. It was a spectacular view, and we were all lifting weights. First thing in the morning, they had weights laying around, and we were all showing how strong we were. So we literally had fun every single day. And accommodation, we all stayed in the tea houses, and it comes with a nice bed, mattress, and pillows, and they also give you a comforter. They want you to keep the window open and wear all your clothes and get inside the bed because it helps in acclimatization. And also, they want to keep your window open, and you keep your phone, everything. They all charge. Just we all try to keep it within inside a sleeping bag, so nothing happened to that. So, and then what else can I think of? Uh, your phone and your phone and batteries, they all need to be charged, and it involves a small fee for charging them, but it's not a big deal. So we were getting smart to which one to charge and which one not to. And but they're very helpful. The guides are very helpful. Listen to them. They check your oxygen every day, and they will help you every which way. I was not feeling well one day. I had a tummy ache, and I was not able to eat anything. The guides literally they were carrying my backpack, and someone ran to get me a special drink. So that's how they take care of you like your family. You're never left alone. I want to reassure that.
That's great to hear. I think maybe at this point, it's a good place to bring Deepak in because I also want to, ask him a few questions. So while we bring Deepak up here from backstage. Namaste, Deepak. Thanks for joining us.
Say good morning from Nepal and good evening to you.
Good morning, Deepak. How are you?
I'm very good, very good.
Good. Deepak, thanks for recording the video in advance. We have a lot of folks interested in checking in Nepal. There are some watching us live. I can see some in the chat, some people who've said hi, who are coming, for the trek in October. So Mila, Tammy, if you have any questions, please fire them away in the chat. Deepak is here to answer, any questions that you may have, or anyone else has any questions about trekking, whether it's Annapurna trek or any other trek in, Everest region or Annapurna region. Feel free to ask questions. If anyone's interested in climbs like Island Peak, feel free to ask questions about those as well. In the meantime, while you're, thinking about what questions you have for Deepak, I have a couple of questions. So how do you, Deepak, monitor the group as you keep going on higher altitude? How do you monitor people for altitude sickness? How do you keep a check on them to see everybody's doing fine? What do you guys do?
Our guide, they are well trained for these things. So they have like a oximeter to check like a oxygen level. If they have good oxygen level, so there won't be any issues of the altitude. Well, some must have like the physical issues, some must have like a mental issues. That is not a big deal, but the most important things is the oxygen. If you have a right oxygen level, so you don't have to worry. So our guide, they have oxygen oximeter. They check every evening, like a when they need it. We check the oxygen level. If the oxygen level is fine, if the oxygen level is in right position, so we don't have to worry about this. So that's the way we check the monitor like a oxygen monitor like a altitude things.
Understood. You also monitor their food intake and liquid intake. I understand from the the groups that have been with you before. Do you also monitor? Do the guides also monitor their food and water
Well,
intake?
actually, when you go higher and higher, the taste of food is not that good because of altitude. And some people, they don't taste, they don't good taste of local food also. But mostly those who start getting altitude issues, their taste of food is not that good, and they don't feel to eat anymore. That's the another symptoms. And sometimes people they they feel to eat but they cannot eat. That's the
Yeah.
things. And another things, they feel very tired, they cannot move, and they cannot sleep, they feel they want to sleep but they cannot sleep. And like shaking their body, stomach issues.
Yeah.
If they have got those type of symptoms, then is the symptoms of altitude.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And there are acclimatization days that Sukanya mentioned. These are not really rest days, right? Because they still should be doing some activity to acclimatize. Is that right? Because Sukanya mentioned some of the activities. I just want to make sure people don't think that that is a rest day. Is that right, Deepak?
Yes, actually, those days we didn't spend full day by walking, so we only spend like a couple of hours. It
Yeah,
means like well, when you reach there, we spend night, and next day we do like a couple of 100 meters higher than that place to test
yeah,
the altitude. Either
yes,
you're able to go, either you're able to move forwards or not. So once you reach that altitude, either you're able to either your body adjust with the altitude or not. That's the
yeah.
things we're taking a rest.
Yes, so I just want to call that out because people will, the guides will never force anybody to do anything, but you always advise to take their advice because they know what they're doing, and when they tell you you should go for a walk rather than take rest on an acclimatization day, take your advice in terms of if they say get garlic soup, which helps with altitude. If they say go for a walk, they will only at best request you or urge you to do things. They will never force you. They're very polite, very helpful. So just want to call that out. Mila, I see there's a question. What happens if someone gets sick? Is it possible to stay behind and catch up with the rest of the group? Deepak, you want to answer that?
Well, actually, we always have like a enough backup. It means like we have a guide, porters, assistant guides. So we have enough backup for that. So if someone's get altitude issues or someone's get any kind of the issues and not able to move forward, that case depends on how serious, depends on the person's situation. If they are not able to move forward, there will be assistant guide. It depends how serious the person. If they are really serious, the guide will be staying with the sick person. If not, then the assistant guide will be staying with the sick person. And next day, if they recover, they can continue and catch the rest of group. If not, then either they have to stay at the same place or heading down.
Absolutely. Hope that answers the question, Mila. While you guys are thinking of any more questions that you have, take benefit of Deepak being here to answer all your questions. I'll ask Sukanya another question. Sukanya, why did
Sure.
you choose to go with a group? You can book a private trip as well, just maybe one or two people, or just by yourself. Why did you choose to go with a group?
Why did they go choose? Because I always personally I always thrive on group people. I always thrive on making new friends, and I do not hesitate to make new friends. And this way, I felt like everybody is there with the same mindset, and everybody has a goal. And you also connected me with a few with Brooke, before I went, and so I spoke to a few of them, and we were already friends before we got on. Only I hadn't known them personally, so that kind of made me comfortable to go with a group, and that's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what Sukan is talking about is, we have folks who sign up as solo travelers. We pull together groups, and we have a chat group that we create with all the folks who are going together on a particular trek, where they can coordinate logistics, book themselves on the same flight. We are available to answer any questions with regards to training, gear, etc. We also connect them with, Deepak and his team about a month before the trek, and so Deepak and his team is available to answer any questions. But that chat group is also used to coordinate logistics during the trek, while Deepak will be in Kathmandu and his team of guides and porters takes the groups out on the trek. He's still monitoring on a daily basis, checking on everybody, through the chat, where I and my team also are monitoring that chat. So we pull people together, put them in a group, who sometimes even train together if they're in the same city. We typically have people from different cities joining in the group as well. So if there aren't any other questions, Deepak, I have a question about the Annapurna trek. What's the difference between the Annapurna Base Camp trek and the Annapurna circuit trek? Can you share? Because we've talked a lot about the Everest Base Camp trek. Tell us a little bit about the Annapurna trek and the difference between circuit versus base camp, and which one would you recommend and why?
Well, Annapurna circuit has a different starting point and different ending point, and Annapurna base camp has the same starting point, same ending point. Well, Annapurna base camp has like a small circuit, and the few days you have to walk same way up, same way back. But if you do Annapurna circuit, it is whole circuit. You never repeat the days. You never repeat the scene and sceneries. Each and every day you get different scene and sceneries. Okay, and well, altitude wise also is a like a uh, about 1300 meters higher than base camp. Annapurna circuit is much higher than the base camp. Okay.
Mhm.
Other than that, the peoples are like a culture, history, and the peoples are very similar. It is same mountain, but same mountain from different angles. That the different scene and sceneries, and Annapurna circuit it starts slowly, and you get to the top and getting down slowly again. And Annapurna base camp also is very similar, but it is more up and down
Got
for
it.
the few days, and we go up to the base camp, and coming back same way for a few days and heading back to Pokhara.
Got it. That's super helpful. Thank you, Deepak. Deepak, I see a couple more questions. One is about what is the gear needed, and I think it was briefly touched upon in the video. So, but now that we have you live, what is the gear that the trekkers need to bring, and what is the gear that your company is able to provide them either on rent, or what is it that's included in the cost of the trip?
Okay, so well, they must need sleeping bag, down jacket, inner fleece, the outer fleece, like a Gore-Tex, which is protect from the wind, and like a good socks, like a hiking socks, good trekking shoes, or like a with the ankle cover, like a good gloves, sunglasses, like a towel, uh, like a couple pair of shirt, t-shirt. Mostly, we need some like a winter gear for the trekking in Nepal. Well, sleeping bag and down jacket and walking stick is provided by us. If they don't have their own sleeping bag, down jacket, and walking stick, we provide for them. And duffel bag also we provide for them. Duffel bag, most people they know they come with their like a suitcase or their own like a backpack. Once they reach in Kathmandu, once we meet them at the like a briefing time, we provide them like a duffel bag, and ask them either they need a sleeping bag, down jacket, and walking stick or not. At that time we provide those things, and their personal equipment, like the gloves, socks, like a personal wear things, either they can bring from there or they can buy here in Kathmandu. So in Kathmandu also they have a few different categories, like a you can see so many shops selling like a fake North Face, and there is like a original North Face also shops in Kathmandu too. So if you want to get real one, they can buy here, or you can bring all the way from there. Or if you want to use things for this trek, and like for 1 or 2 times, you can buy like a fake one. Fake one also, there's a real fake, and there's like a just like a genuine fake. Genuine fake, you can it lasts for the couple of trek, and the real fake one will last for 1 or 2 trek.
Got it. So I just want to share that we've had, at least one group. We had people who said they knew that you get cheaper gear in Kathmandu, sometimes really good quality gear as well. But like Deepak said, there's a lot of shops which sell duplicate gear as well. And I remember when I asked them for the feedback after the trip, and they told us that Deepak actually was kind enough to send somebody, with them, or he was kind enough to tell them which stores to go to buy the gear. So you get a lot of gear in Kathmandu if you want to shop there. The guides help you with that as well. So hope that clarifies your question, Dennis, on all the questions. Deepak, I see another question about the Trans-Himalaya Trail. Are you familiar with the Trans-Himalaya Trail? Deepak, as far as I know, it's like a whole system of a lot of trails, right? Or at least a part of it. Somebody's interested in knowing a little bit about that.
This trek is on the high altitude base. Normally, it is a longer trekking route in Nepal. Mostly goes to the high altitude, as well remote area of Nepal. So, remote area, less tourist area is covered this trek.
Got it. And is this different from the Three Passes trek, Deepak? Because this is a part of the bigger, I think, Ladakh, Karakoram, Zanskar, and all of those regions, right? And there's one section that you can do.
It is three passes also part of the this trek.
Oh, got it. Three Passes is part of this.
So not full three
Yes,
passes, but half three passes
is a
trekking
part of
also.
this.
Yes.
Got it. And that's, I'm guessing, the most popular part of the probably the Trans-Himalaya trek, that section of the Three Passes trek. Yes. Hope that answers your question. Any other questions, folks? Deepak, would you like to add anything? Sukanya, do you have anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Have fun. Yeah, everything will be taken care of for you. Just take yourself, trust Preeti and Deepak, and you will have a blast. That's all I need to say.
Thank you so much, Sukanya. That was super helpful. Thank you, Deepak, for joining us. Sukanya, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Deepak, it's great working with you. We only hear positive things from all of our, clients. We've sent multiple groups. We have multiple groups signed up for this October, November as well. So yeah, appreciate everything that you and your team does. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Namaste, Deepak.
Namaste. Bye bye.
Namaste.
Bye bye. Namaste. Thanks, Sukanya. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.